Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about, once again, Despia Darklords. However, this time, with Diviner of Herald. Now, a lot of people really like Diviner of Herald in Darklords, because it basically gets you a free summon of Condemned Darklord with an additional tribute summon. I'm not a big fan of this card. I find it to be a little bit bricky and not really the greatest, at least in the Despia version. I think it's really good in a more pure Darklord version, but anyway, that's not really a big deal. It is a nice normal summon. So let's quickly talk about the combo and why this card is very good. So what it does is, on normal summon, you're not going to special summon it. On normal summon, you send Trios to the grave. Trios can then tribute the Diviner to special summon itself. Diviner will then activate to special summon out Ava. Ava and Trios are two fairies, which allows you to go into Condemned Darklord. Ava will then banish the Diviner from the grave in order to search out your Angel 01. Angel 01 reveals any level 7 or higher monster, and in order to special summon itself. Then, because you already have Condemned, you can discard a card in order to search out something like a Morningstar to allow you to then get that tribute summon for Morningstar, because Angel 01 gives you an additional tribute summon. Then you could banish 2 cards from the graveyard in order to tribute summon out your Morningstar. This is very nice. You now have 3 materials on the field, as well as Morningstar, which is nice, but it's only okay. However, it does only take up your normal summon, which you don't really need in this deck. Another thing that you can do, though, is with Diviner, instead of going for that combo, which is very nice, it's not the greatest if you want to keep Morningstar potentially in your hand. What you could do is, if you have Loa in your hand, which I will talk about in a second, you can activate the Diviner of Herald to then send Tragedy. Tragedy will increase this guy's level to 1, making it a level 3, and add a Aluber or a Dramaturg to your hand. Then, if you have Loa in hand, Loa special summons itself if you activate the effect of a fairy monster. So, special summon it, allowing you to have a 7 and a 3 to go into Baron. Then, you could potentially activate a branded opening, or you could activate banishment, or what have you, to then proceed with a combo from there, all under a Omni Negate. Very, very solid. Genuinely. Baron is absolutely crazy. So, all in all, it's still a really solid card. In all honesty, I probably wouldn't even be playing this stuff if a lot of other people didn't play it. So, I think a lot of people like the Trios engine for Darklords. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, it works. Moving on, let's do the quick card by card. So obviously we are playing the Angel 01, Ava, and Trios all at one. You don't need more than that. We are playing triple Diviner of Herald as well. For hand traps, we are playing triple Maxi, triple Ash Blossom. As for the Despia cards, we are playing 2 Aluber. Reason being, you can see it off of the branded opening, which we're playing 3 of, and you don't need to see it all that often, since you can also search it out with Tragedy. So we're playing 2 Tragedy, 2 Aluber, and 1 Dramaturg, and then 2 Theater and triple Opening. So that's our Despia engine. We're also playing 2 Loa, Protecting Spirit Loa. This card is basically a pseudo Despian. It's a light Despian, kind of. It's a light fairy that can special summon itself, so it's very, very nice. As for the Darklord side of the deck, we are playing 2 Superbia, triple Ixchel, 1 Morningstar, triple Banishment, and 2 Contact. Pretty standard there. We're also playing some additional tech cards in 2 Super Polys, 2 Called By, and 2 Forbidden Droplets. As for the extra deck, we are playing a whole bunch of different cards. We are playing 1 Entis that you can send off of Diviner of Herald. This way, if you have an Aluber already out in the field, or no, just an Aluber, you could potentially also normal summon Diviner, send an Entis to the grave, pop one of your opponent's card, and then go into Baron. So that's also an option. We are playing 3 different Super Poly targets in Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and a Predaplant Triff. Pretty simple. We are playing 1 Despian Q. You don't need more than this because we also have 2 first Darklords, which can special summon back a bunch of other monsters, and it's just the better boss monster. We are playing 1 Proskenion, and then, of course, 1 Baron. For the Link monsters, we are playing 1 Condemned Darklord, IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, Apollosa, Access Code Talker, and Underworld Goddess. So let's hop into the deck, or into the replays, and see how the deck performs. Before we hop into the duels, let me just say that over 80% of the people who watch my content aren't subscribed. So if you find yourself coming back on the regular, you can always subscribe. And if you end up finding that you don't like the content anymore, you can always unsubscribe later. It's free, it's fun, and it allows me to continue making content for you guys on the daily. So if you like the content, consider subscribing. Anyway, let's hop into the duels. Alright, so strap in. This one's a long one. But it really will show you the power level of this deck. We actually draw a pretty decent hand. Drawing 2 Loa is kind of annoying, but we do have Diviner as well as Banishment and Ash Blossom. Pretty nice. And this Ash Blossom is going to come in handy right here. I'm going to fire off this Ash Blossom because I don't want them to get Eldritch already, and then Eldritch away their Cursed Eldland for additional follow-up. They're going to set 4 and pass. Feels bad, man. We're going to have to play through a lot of disruption. So I'm going to activate this Banishment to search out the Ixchel here. And then I'm going to fire off this Diviner of Herald. Diviner is going to then send the Tragedy to the grave. And... oh, what? Eldritch with There Can Only Be One. Okay. I guess we're only being able to play with 1 fairy on the field. However, I'm still going to activate this Loa in order to special summon it. Because Loa, as you will see, is actually way good. Way better for us here. Way good. We're going to search out the Aluber here. They're going to special summon out their Hakero, which I'm like, okay. I'm going to switch the battle position of the Loa in order to banish their Cursed Eldland. And then I'm going to draw 2, set 1, Forbidden Droplets, and pass. Not really anything else I could do. But, notably, they also kind of can't really do anything. There can be only 1 on their field. But they'd go into Imduck and, well, we put our card in the wrong zone. Realistically, I should put it over here, but I'm bad. Yeah. They're going to activate their Hakero in order to set an Eldlixir, and things are not looking the greatest, I'm not going to lie to you. But we'll see how this goes. We actually end up drawing our branded opening, which is very nice. I'm going to normal summon this Aluber in order to go for a Despia Theater, and then I'm going to activate the Despia Theater. I'm going to activate, and we're going to fusion summon here, and we're going to go for Q. Realistically, I could have potentially waited, seeing as how they do have there can only be 1 up on the field, meaning they're only going to be able to have 1 zombie on their side of the field, which means they can't go for like Eldritch into a Conquistador or a Hakero or anything like that. So there's that. But in all honesty, I still think it's probably worth it to go for this guy instead of waiting to potentially go for a first Darklord. The reason being is because I'm pretty sure one of these set cards is a Solemn Judgment, and so I don't want my first Darklord, which is very committal, to get Solemn Judgmented. So that's why we do it this way. I'm going to activate the Q's effect in order to decrease this guy's attack so that I can deal as much damage as I can. I'm going to set the branded opening that we drew, and they are going to go for the Eldlixir here. And then we're going to pass a whole bunch of turns. So I'm going to speed this up real quick. They're going to set a card. I'm going to draw Dramaturg. They're going to set, they're going to just, we just passing. Eventually, I realize, hey, I don't have a fairy on my side of the field, and I drew a card, Maxi, that I really don't need. So I'm going to just send away my Maxi and special summon out my monster. And then, since this guy's a fiend, I can have a fairy and a fiend on my side of the field. Fantastic. Oh, just kidding. They're going to Golden Knight forever. Okay. Alright, I guess. You do you, boo. Sounds good. We're going to pass the turn. I'm going to go... it's now my turn. And we drew Called By. Fantastic. You love to see it. We're going to banish our Tragedy. They're going to activate their Eldlixir of Scarlet Sanguine because they can. Set a card. They're going to set their Conquistador, which I'm like, yeah, okay. And then we are going to set our branded opening. They're going to activate Hakero in order to special summon it. And I'm just going to activate my Maxi here because might as well get a free draw off of it, right? There's at least something we can do there. I'm going to get the draw of Ixchel, which is nice. We're going to attack into this Hakero and proceed to the end phase. They don't have anything with this Hakero, so... well, or they couldn't have activated it, so it's fine with it. I'm fine with it being in the grave. They're going to activate their Eldritch here and send away our Q. I'm going to activate my Called by the Grave, and there's the Solemn Judgment. They actually really did pretty well. A lot of people are like, Eldritch players, they're so dumb. And to be fair, this guy's playing There Can Be Only One, so not the greatest example. But they did hold Solemn Judgment for something that actually did threaten them, being the Called By. So very well done from them. They're going to send away our Q, which I'm okay with, because Q is going to float into Aluber. Aluber is going to activate, and here is where, all of a sudden, the previous play now no longer matters for them. They held their Solemn Judgment for something that actually mattered. Good for them. And then they Torrential Tribute us for 1 Aluber, which doesn't stop the effect. It just destroys the monster. I still have 8,000 life points. There's no way that they are going to kill us at all. Period. And they decide to Torrential Tribute us. Here's why this is a bad idea. I'm just going to let this play out. Did y'all catch that? Did that make sense to you as to why that was a bad play? Don't worry, it'll get worse. So they're going to special out their Golden Boy in attack position. Oh goody. I'm going to immediately activate Q because I'm like, yes, that means I can kill them on the follow-up. They're going to activate this Conquistador that we knew that they had. They're going to activate it, and they're going to try and pop one of our cards. However, there is a card that they could pop that actually does something here. If they pop Despia Theater, that's great. I can no longer fusion summon. This card's gone. The protection from it is gone. It doesn't matter. They're still dead. But it'd at least be the right play. No, they didn't dissuade. Okay. I'm going to activate this effect to protect our Q from being destroyed by battle, which is funny because they don't have anything that they could destroy us, or that they could use to destroy us by battle. But they are going to, during the end phase, set their last Scarlet Sanguine. I think it's the last one. I could be wrong. At least one of their Scarlet Sanguines. And we're going to special summon out the Tragedy during the end phase. I'm going to go for the fusion summon of the first Darklord. You may be like, why are you doing this? You could literally just activate Q and then just walk in. But it's funny. And I have already won this game. Even through Torrential Tribute, I have won this game hands down. And so, yeah, I'm going to chain Q to the activation of their Torrential Tribute, which, of course, they had. And we are going to banish this branded opening and then bring out our Dramaturg. They're going to activate their Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, but it is already over, sir. You have put a monster in attack position, a cardinal sin, against our Lord and Savior, Despia where it is. Yeah, anyway, good game. Alright, so here we are with the second duel. This time, we are going first. I think we went first last time, maybe. But I'm going to try and bait out this Ash Blossom with our Ixchel. And turns out we get a free draw, so that's pretty nice. I'm going to activate this Banishment to search out Contact here. And then I am going to activate Contact. We're going to bring out our Ixchel. And then we will search with the Ixchel effect for the Superbia. Shuffle that back. We are going to activate Loa in order to special summon itself onto the field. Aluber is going to activate in order to search out the Theater. Theater is then going to activate, and we are going to go for 1, 2, 3. Count them. That is the daddy first Darklord. Here he comes. Here come the boy. So we're going to activate our first Darklord here to bring out Superbia. Superbia effect is going to activate in order to bring out Aluber. Woo! Guess what? Do you know what that means? IP Masquerena. That is correct. Then I am going to once again activate our branded opening. Now, here's why I do this now. Branded opening locks you into fusion monsters. You can only fusion summon the turn you activate this. So, if we activate it now, during the opponent's turn, we are able to activate IP Masquerena. While technically, yes, this is a quick play spell, and I could have activated it during my opponent's turn, it would have locked us into fusions, meaning IP Masquerena is dead in the water. However, with this, we can now go into a format Appaloosa on the opponent's turn that can no longer be targeted, and then, during the opponent's turn, we can also activate the first Darklords in order to bring back Superbia, which could then bring back Despia, or Dramaturg. Having a 4-mat Appaloosa, sorry, a 3-mat Appaloosa that is untargetable, as well as the first Darklord, as well as Superbia, as well as Dramaturg, should be enough to close out just about any game. So, let's see how this plays out. So they are going to activate their Drytron field spell, and I am going to immediately activate IP Masquerade. We're going to go for that format Appaloosa, because as soon as they activate any sort of monster effect, I want to be there to negate it. So, they are going to search out Meteonis. It was a huge mistake from them to activate a spell instead of a monster effect first, but not a lot that they could have done about that. They are going to Called by the Grave our Aluber, and I go, sure. They are going to normal summon Diviner. I'm going to immediately activate this Appaloosa and say, no, 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 and then I'm going to chain the first Darklord because it's funny. Now, realistically, I have made a terrible mistake. Do you want to know why? Because Superbia, for some reason, Superbia says when and not if, meaning it now misses timing. I'm not going to be able to get an additional summon. Does that matter? No. No, it doesn't. But, it's annoying. It's very annoying. They're going to activate their Thurabane. No. No Thurabane. Thank you. Negate. I'm gonna negate that. You can keep that card in hand. Then they are going to activate probably the dumbest thing that I have seen a Drytron player do. They're going to activate their Foolish Burial. Extra Foolish Burial. They're going to send Herald of Arclight to the graveyard. They already have ultimateness in grave. So we know that they have ultimateness. Good to know. They searched out Meteonis. They have Thurabane. They could go for they could go for Herald of Ultimateness now, and then they could activate their Foolish Burial after walking over our Appaloosa to then continue their combo by sending, by getting something off of the Herald of Arclight, which then could potentially continue their combo. It could also do absolutely nothing. Who knows? I'm going to negate their last card, I'm going to negate the last thing that I can with this Appaloosa. Now, granted, I do have 5,000 life points, so maybe they were like, hey, maybe I could punch over this guy and to deal enough damage. I don't know how, but they're going to bring out Herald of Ultimateness with, count them, how many cards does this opponent have? How many cards? How many cards does this Drytron player have? That's right, 0 cards in hand. Good game, this game is over. They also have 4,000 life points, so I'm just going to switch everything to attack position and attack right over everything, dealing slightly over lethal. Alright, so here we are in our final replay, and as you can tell, I'm actually at the top here. So this was played in a duel room with some viewers, so if you want to be notified when I go live, just be sure to hit the notification bell, and then you'll be able to be notified when I do live streams, which basically every time I do live streams, we do duel rooms, so you can hop in when I do that. Anyway, they're going to activate their Upstart Goblin. They're playing Shiranui, by the way. They're going to go for Shiranui Spirit Master to bring out Samurai, and then set 3 and pass. And up at the top, we have a pretty decent hand. We go for Banishment. We actually drew this Superbia for turn. We had Contact already, which is very nice. We had the Tragedy, Called by the Grave, and Ash Blossom. So, all in all, pretty decent. I'm going to add the Ixchel here. Ixchel effect to send Superbia to draw 2, and we drew into Aluber, which is very, very nice. We also drew Maxi, which is funny. So we're going to immediately contact here. We're going to we're going to Superbia, bring back the Ixchel, and they are going to fire off the Shiranui Style Swallow. I'm going to activate the Ixchel effect in response to activate Banishment, and I'm going to get negated by the Forbidden Droplets. Was this the best of choice to activate the Forbidden Droplets here? No. Given the fact that I still have 5 cards in hand, that was not very good. Not a good idea. They should have kept the Forbidden Droplets. I understand you're so extremely tempted to activate the Forbidden Droplets here because you get a free send off of the Swallow Slash. That's just a good. That's just good. That's just a good investment. But in all reality, I don't think it's worth it. They do get to negate the Ixchel as well as pop the 2 cards, which is very nice. And then they end up banishing Samurai here. I don't know if that's necessarily the best choice, but it is okay, because it would have added back their Spirit Master to the hand, which could have potentially gotten them stuff. But turns out we have Called by the Grave, so we're just going to Called by the Grave their monster. Here we go for Aluber, and at this point, this is pretty standard. We go for the Theater. Theater is going to send the 2 for the fusion summon of Q. And then we go for Tragedy's effect, and I'm going to chain the Q here to decrease this guy's attack. Now, I also banished, notably, I also banished the zombie monster that Samurai would have had, which would have allowed him to boost up by 600 and then banish whatever it battled with. But yeah, now he doesn't have the ability to do that, so pretty nice for me. They are going to banish their monster and then proceed to take no damage. So instead of actually attacking in, I'm just going to just not, because they're not going to take any damage. They draw Swallow Slash here for turn, which is interesting, but I don't know what they're doing. I just don't want them to draw anything. So I actually Ash Blossom the Samsara, because it would have shuffled back 2 cards and then drawn them a card. And yeah, they just go to the end phase. This card's not doing anything, but I don't really have a good way to kill them here. We're going to send the Maxi to special summon out the Aluber here, and then they are going to activate their Style Synthesis, or sorry, Samsara again in order to draw a card by shuffling 2 monsters. So they're going to shuffle 2 and then go for the Spectral Sword, or draw the Spectral Sword. This is terrible for them, but not a lot that they can do. I'm going to add the Branded Opening off of the Fusion Summon, or sorry, off of the Aluber there, and then we will go for the Proskenion. Did I need to do this? No, in fact, that was a terrible decision. But now we have Dramaturg as well as the Proskenion on the field, which is a lot of damage. We're going to banish the Tragedy to set the Opening, and with Opening in hand, we can activate Opening to send Opening in order to do some cool stuff there. So, in fact, during the end phase, after they normal summon their Spectral Sword, we're going to special summon out the Tragedy here. I'm going to activate the effect to Fusion for Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, since it is 2 dark monsters. We're going to activate our Dramaturg to special summon, to special summon itself out. They're going to try and pop our Proskenion, and they are going to they're going to pop the Dramaturg. Then they are going to activate the Spirit Master to pop our Theater, so Theater does not get the floating effect to special summon out the Q. It doesn't matter, we have lethal here. I'm even going to set the Theater again off of the Tragedy. They're going to shuffle back 2 cards to draw a card. If they draw Battle Fader here, nope, it's chicken game. Good game. So, all in all, how did the deck perform? It's okay. I think it definitely stands up better than something like a pure Darklord version. The Despia engine is just so incredibly useful for Darklords. Even something as simple as Loa is incredibly useful and can allow you to activate or go for a lot more combos that maybe you previously wouldn't have. And all in all, it's just a very, very solid deck. Is it the best? No. I think it's probably one of the worst versions of the deck. Even worse than something like Alistair, with nothing else, just Alistair and Despia. But all in all, I do like the deck. It does perform fairly well. It can hold its own against a lot of the top tier decks, and it's just fun. It's nice. Playing Darklords is fun. That's all I have to say. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.